Ooh. But that's the idea. Like form is all about what do you do that does not hurt. At the end of the day, like it's kind of the dead giveaway. If you feel in pain, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Now, is there anything I can talk about? Oh, yeah, the jump rope, right? So I didn't know how to jump rope, and then I basically said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna buy a proper jump rope. I'm gonna go and veg on YouTube tutorials. And now, man, I love YouTube, man. That's why I've been a YouTube stan for like 15 years. I don't even know how long. Look, since 2007 or 8, whenever I could like get an internet connection that could run YouTube videos, was 182 years to be exact. That's not bad. It goes by in the blink of an eye. So it's funny that you can look up anything. If you got any interest, if you want to learn about something, there's always like, not only are there videos about it, there's communities about it. So I was like, okay, jump rope for beginners, or how to jump rope, or how to do that, and just infinite amount of videos. I was like, oh great. I'm just gonna sit and watch them, and just like trying to absorb the information. And then like, and after I watched like maybe a day or two of, like, I think I ordered the jump rope, and while I was waiting for it to come in the mail, I was just watching videos non-stop, like again and again and again, different guys saying the same shit. Sometimes one teacher saying it one way is not going to click the same way as a different teacher saying it in a different way. So I try and have as many ways of saying the same story to see where we get. They dropped broadcast yourself. Did they drop the actual term broadcast yourself? Oh, I'm not surprised, but oh my god, I didn't know that they actually did that. It's like when Google dropped the don't be evil. I think it's like one of their number one rule that they used to have back in the day. Like don't be evil, don't do evil. And yeah, they just got rid of it like a couple years ago. I'm like, yeah, jump rope community. There's like, oh dude, it's insane. There's what I'm saying, there's massive channels for jump roping only. It's insane. It's been gone for T-post. So what happened was that I looked up the videos, and then when the jump rope came, I was like, my whole goal was to get through one jump and complete it. Like, it was so hard, I could not do it. But then like I learned the system of, there's a system where you idle. It's like idling the engine, right? Where you use the ropes and you just charge them on the sides of yourself, right? So you just do that, and it's basically rotating on your sides, and you just pass it over and keep it running. And my goal was to hold that charge and then open it up and then jump through it. So that's the best way to start it. So you get your timing ready, you hear it hitting in the ground, you get a feel for it, and then once you open your hands, you go through it, and then you start your routine. And it was all about, I became a jump rope, exactly, dude. So what happened was I started jumping through it. Like, I got one. I was like, fuck, I actually entered the system. I was like, that was something I couldn't do for over 2 decades. Or literally like one of my biggest like things in my life. I was like, man, I just couldn't figure it out how to do it, and I just did it. Didn't you sling like elementary rhymes? No, like everyone else in primary school like was doing it, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I was just, my hand-eye coordination wasn't there, and no one was teaching me. One jump rope came into my school and taught us a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah. That's the thing, is that I never could do it. I was the fat kid, and obviously you'll try and jump rope, and the teacher will be like, "Oh, stop doing that. You're gonna hurt your knees." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, fuck. I guess so." And my knees did hurt because I didn't know how to jump. I was like putting full body jumps in the air, full body slamming, like full foot slamming, like, and then that shockwave used to go through my knees, and I used to hurt my knees. But proper jump rope technique, like, you know what, as a good reference, a very good reference for jump rope is watching Floyd Mayweather. Look up Floyd Mayweather jump rope, and this guy, you can see this guy's been doing it since he was like out of the crib. As soon as he started walking, he was jump roping. He jump ropes the same way we walk, and he can hold his pace, he can do all that shit and be very fluid and comfortable with it. And that's obviously through decades of experience. But it's a good reference to see what are they doing right, because when you've been able to do it for that long, it means that you have a complete grasp of it and you're doing it perfectly. Because if he's doing it wrong for 20 years, he can't do it anymore. You can't do anything good for 20 years. Like, anything bad is going to kill you after that long. So you look at people who've done it for a long time. Longevity equals success. So people who've been doing it for a long time, that's the people I'm looking at. Yeah, my tits were flat. Yeah, that was definitely something that I did notice when I started jump roping. Like a lot of the pulling when you jump, but as you lose weight, and then it gets a bit better. BRB, no worries, man, no worries. So I basically started. Then the goal was, okay, I got through 1. I was like, okay, now the goal is to do 10. Can I do up to 10? And I basically, wind it up, load it up, enter, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. It took me like a day or two to get it, right? But I got it. And I was like, whoa. Like, for me, it was like almost surreal. Like, I just went dizzy after I did. I was like, I can't believe I just did 10 jumps. It was something that was like, I given up. It's like the same way I give up about, like, for example, one of the things I've given up in life is being able to draw. I don't think I can ever do it. I've got no spatial perception. I've got no sense of perspective. I can't make things look like they're there's no depth. I can't understand, how can you spin a cube on paper? I just can't do it. It's just, I have no sense of that whatsoever. But I've met people who can draw, but they're like, I can't play music. I've got no sense of sound or pitch or timing. But for me, it's completely natural. It's like, okay, well, I guess some people have that, some people have the other, and we just focus on our things, and that makes it all work. How many times did you hit my ankles? What do you mean? With a razor scooter, I don't have ankles anymore. But with jump rope, I never had ankles issues. You mean like jumping and like my ankles hitting each other? No, not really. What if jump roping is easy? Do you just do it longer? You mean like once you get the pace and it becomes easy for you? There's different ways to increase the difficulty. You can either increase how long you can do it unstopped. Let's say you can, like, you run out of breath after you've done 50. I'm just making a number up. Okay, 50 becomes really tiring and you need a break. That's your limit. So then it's just the same thing with powerlifting. Like, let's say 100 kilos is the heaviest you can do. You work up until it doesn't feel as hard anymore, and then you add an extra 5 kilos, and then all of a sudden 105 kilos felt as difficult as 100 kilos did when you first started. And then you work your way up to 105. That feels comfortable. 110. And then so on and so forth. Then all of a sudden you're doing 160 kilos, and it has the same level of difficulty as the 100 did when you first started 100. Progressive overload. That's the basic principle. So, hitting the rope. No, I've definitely whipped my ass or something like that, or like I was trying to do crossovers and you just whip the back of my leg or something. But nah, I don't. No. I've never had a problem like that. Shut the fuck up and get to the gym. I'm gonna get to the gym after this. Don't worry, it's gonna happen. Yeah, and the thing is that I've got those steel cable jump ropes, the speed ropes. They're the ones that they whip, and they whip, like they whip hard. Don't leave me. No, I ain't going anywhere. Don't worry. So, if yes, very, very pleasant. So what happens is that the way to increase difficulty would be to add tricks. If you know how to do like crossovers or double overs. So for every one jump, you do 2 spins. So you have to jump higher and really use your forearms to whip it. Fa-fum, fa-fum, fa-fum. Instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're basically jumping fa-pop, fa-pop. Like that. That's pretty rough. I found up to my point right now, I have no need for that. But I think that eventually I think if I lose weight, that's when I have to step it up. But for the weight that I have now, I feel like I'm already it's like I'm wearing a weight vest and doing it. So it's pretty high intensity. And another thing you can do is, let's say if you do 50 jumps and that feels comfortable, try and work your way up to 100 jumps. And then once 100 jumps becomes easy, work your way up to 150, then work your way up to 200, non-stop. And then, then you've built a difficulty for yourself. Kilograms or pounds? Double spins. I've done double spins as just to see if I can do it, and I can, but I choose not to do it in my programming yet, just because I feel I'm not light enough. I don't think it's smart right now. But I can definitely pull it off. I was like, let me see if I can do it. I can do it, but I just don't like it. If I lost like 10 kilos, 15 kilos, I'll be like, yeah, I'll probably start incorporating it. boxers, man, how do they do it? Yeah, well, the thing is that boxers use a jumping technique called boxer step, and what it does is that every jump you make is like it's like a dance step routine almost, where you take 1 foot forward, then you put it in the middle, then you put it back, and you're kind of shuffling your feet and sharing the pressure over time, and that allows you to do it for long periods of time. So it's a even more relaxing version of doing regular jump rope. That's why boxers can do it for long periods. To me, that's what I need to learn. I think that's the next step I need to take. But right now, I'm just doing double-footed, normal, low height. The trick is about doing small jumps. You basically, the trick is to jump as high as it takes for the rope to clear underneath. Never have to jump too high, never, because then you're going to be impacting. But if you're just doing light jumps, and basically, again, the same principle as walking, no heel strikes, no full foot on the ground. You're basically using the front of your toes. Let's say if this is the floor and you're using your feet, you're basically doing that, right? So your heels never touch, and you're just basically building up, building up, and you're just doing that softly. And just doing that enough, so you get to the right balance. How they dance. Like how they, yeah, you have to do some gabba. I don't know if you want to do gabba while jump roping. You know, it's a bit too much, but you know, you could probably do it. You know, gabba rope. So what I did is I basically started from there. I went to I started at 10, and then I was like, okay, can I do 20? Can I do 30? Can I do 40? And I worked it took me like several weeks to get a sort of an understanding. And then the lockdowns happened, and then I stopped. And then I came back, and the thing is, I learned how to jump, right? I learned how to just jump the rope, basically, like as an idea. So when I went back to the gym, on day 3 of the first week, I was like, let me try it. And as I said, my knees still hurt. I wasn't used to walking up and down stairs. I was a bit shit. I was like, my goal was to do 1,000. At 200, I was like, I couldn't do it. But the next week, I think the next day, okay, so let's have a look. What did I do? So Monday, the next day I classified it as week 2. I just went and just did jump rope. I went to the gym and just did jump rope, and I hit 1,000 because I felt so guilty the previous day that I didn't do it. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go do it. And then I just went on my off day and went and finished it off, and I did 1,000. I think what it was my body not adapted to that kind of stimulus. It's been that long. And then I did 1,000. And then from that point on, after every workout, I'll do 1,000. Do 1,000, do 1,000, do 1,000. So by the end of the week, I've done 3,000 to 5,000 jumps. And on that day, I did 1,000 jumps. I did a 30-minute heavy bag drill routine, like boxing. And then another 1,000 after that. But I never redid that. I was one-off. And then again, 1,000, and then, this day I didn't do any jump rope. I don't know why. And then I stopped, and then I came back afterwards. Okay, because I don't remember exactly what I've done week by week. But yeah. We will die. I don't do cardio. Will I die? No. We're all gonna die, but it's about how fast. Not in one go. I'm not that talented. Not in one go. No. So what I would do to hit 1,000 is I would do 100. I would try my best to do 100 unbroken, then take a breath, let's say 5 to 10 seconds, and then go again. Like usually when I take a break, I just walk a lap inside the room, take my breath, and then do another 100, do another 100, do another 100, and then get to 1,000. Sometimes I was feeling randy and I tried to go for 200. Sometimes I would try and do as many as I could. I think my record was 350 non-stop, but that was that was one-off. That was like a lucky run. But because what happens is that your calves start to flare up and burn, and you can't keep pace. It's just like, that's why I feel like I need to learn how to do the boxer step in order to relieve the stress off my calves 1 foot at a time and prolong my timing. But that's goals for me for later, so that's fine. How long does it take to get 1K? I think the first time I tried to get 1,000, it took me 26 minutes. It took me a while. It was 28 minutes, I think, for the first time. Last week. Okay, let me go to last week. So I went Okay, so there's this one here, right? This day, yeah, this was a good day actually. I finally hit 120 kilos that day. What day was this? This was Monday, October the 12th. So it was a few days ago, right? I hit 120. I benched 72.5, which bench press is like my weakest exercise. I don't know why. I'm just not built for that shit. I just don't have no talent for that. And power clean, 62.5. But jump rope 1000, I managed to do that jump rope session in 9 minutes and 50 seconds. So that's my best time, is 9 minutes 50, which means I do more than 100 per minute. So if it takes me 1 minute to do 100, it'll take me 10 minutes to do 1000. So I got my 950. So that was a good number. That was my best number. Yeah, long ass arms. Yeah, you got this big orangutan arms. This big ass, long ass swinging boys. But yeah, 950 was my best time. But I did start, it took me like 28 minutes. So I managed to, like, you know, through practice and familiarity, I managed to bring it down to 950. And keep in mind, 950 after already doing all those exercises above. That is very tiring. I was already burnt the fuck out. But I managed to pull 950. And then from this week on, I'm increasing it to 1,500. Because I found that it's kind of comfortable to do 1,000. If I can do it in 9 minutes 50, what can I do to, you know, keep jumping rope and push it back into 15 to 20 minutes? Is by adding an extra 500 in there. And then that becomes a little bit more fatiguing. And there you go, boom. Yeah, so that's it. I got a flat shoe for deadlifts and whatnot. I've got an Olympic shoe for Olympic movements, and I've got a pair of basketball shoes for jump rope. And that's the secret ingredient for jumping rope. You want to be able to absorb the shock by using shoes that specialize in jumping. And what shoe does jumping best is basketball. They're all about jumping. So the amount of shock absorbency and comfort in doing jumping motions is found in basketball shoes. And with those shoes, I never wear them outside the gym. I never wear them outside those exercises. I've got my pair of powerlifting shoes for 5 years, and they look brand new and they feel brand new because I don't only wear them for the lifts. And when I take them off, I put baby powder in it, and they smell clean, they look clean, all that kind of stuff. If you do that, my wife would twist them off. You need special shoes? What if you do the box step? Look, the box step will make your life easier anyways. Like if you use running shoes, like I think if you use running shoes, like just normal running shoes, it will be okay. I just find that I'm a fat cunt. So I'm just going to take whatever assistance and advantages I can take, I will take them. If I lost 20 kilos, I wouldn't even have issues jumping with my Converse. If in a perfect world, I would jump with my Converse because they're flat-footed. And it allows the jump rope to clear underneath safely. Because the only downside with the basketball shoes is that underneath they grip a lot because they're supposed to be for like the parquet. I don't know, what do they call parquet in English? Like in Greece, we just call it parquet, which is the floorboards for basketball courts. But you know, it's supposed to grip on that. So they're very grippy, so that if you do your rope might catch the bottom of your shoe and it just stops it because it's so grippy. But with a Converse shoe, it's like a banana peel, it just goes right underneath. But if you do the box step, it will lighten things up. But keep in mind, the people like the boxers that do boxer step are like 70 kilos. They're like feather boys, you know, they're really light. Like I'm like fucking like super ultra heavyweight right now. Like I'm a weight class beyond weight classes. So yeah, I wouldn't risk it by doing silly shit like that. So I got the basketball shoes just for that because I'm a beginner. I have to learn form. Now my form is definitely better. I would say if I was to use a different shoe today, I would be less injured than if I was to use those same shoes 2 months ago. Just because I've got more experience now. I've done over 20,000 jumps right now since I've started going back to the gym. So now I've got more experience. So if I do, let's say in a year from now, I'll probably learn how to do boxer step. I'll learn how to do all these other extra techniques. Yeah. Feels bad, man.